This is a compliance hearing following an order to participate. Mr. Graff's with us for the department. Mr. Barfield's with us representing the child, and Ms. Stevens is with us representing the mother, Ms. Morris. That's all the parties. I have Megan Jepcott and Brian Cano, an
Yeah,
FBS worker.
those two are here for this matter, Your Honor. Thank you.
Okay. All right. Okay, while we're bringing them in, I showed our last hearing on December 20th. I had a note that the Ms. Morris was going to enter into a TFF case after the first of the year, and then this case would be dismissed. Is that
I
what we're
can
doing? Or
No, I can explain, Your Honor. Thank you.
okay.
What ended up happening was there wasn't an expected TFF opening, never materialized, and so the department worked with mom and came up with a service plan that would work, and so she elected to sign an agreed OTP after all.
Okay.
That's the reason for the mix-up.
Okay, that explains it. So, okay, everybody's in. Nobody's in the waiting room. Mr. Graff, you may proceed.
Thank you, Honor. We're here on a compliance hearing. I have Ms. Cano, and if you would like, we can have her give an update, and at the end, we'll just request an additional compliance hearing at 45 to 60 days out to potentially wrap up.
Okay. All right. Ma'am, if you could unmute. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay. I've read the report. Sounds like mother's scheduled appointments and all. There was a couple of things I read that she had scheduled for, I guess, an appointment with a psychiatrist for February 25th and then a mental health evaluation on February 27th. Did those things take place?
Yes, she has completed both of those.
Okay. All right. You're breaking up a little bit. I think I heard you. And then I read that she said that Caroline's wearing her insulin pump, and then I guess y'all talked to Caroline. She said she's doing better, feels safe at home. She's working on trying to get her grades up, and she's seeing Dr. V, and he had done some changes to her meds. So that's
That's
what I
correct.
know. Anything else? Anything else you need to report to us that's going on?
No, sir.
Okay, so everything's going fine as far as what Mother's doing and what Caroline's doing.
Yes.
Okay. All right. Ms. Stevens, did you have any questions?
Just a couple. What
Okay.
does she have left to do?
She has individual counseling left.
Okay. And she did a mental health evaluation at her own expense, correct?
That's correct.
And y'all got counseling set up this week. And on Wednesday, she did her first counseling session through Rolling Plains, correct?
That's correct.
Okay. And they recommended that she didn't need continued counseling at this time, correct?
That's correct.
Okay. But you're saying she still has to do counseling?
Yeah, it's still recommended by the department that she does complete counseling.
Even though the counselor is saying she doesn't need it?
Correct.
Well, I don't see how that happens. I mean, we'd have to find a new counselor if the counselor says she doesn't need counseling.
Yeah, I'll leave that decision up to you, Judge.
Okay.
Or alternatively, we just
that's an
trust the
easy-
counselor.
That's probably pretty easy to I hope that's my hardest decision all day long. So,
Well, and like I said, we could just trust the counselor since she did have her mental health evaluation. She has done her counseling and they said she doesn't need any further.
that's what I'm saying.
Okay.
I can't order. I'm not going to order her to a counselor that says she doesn't need a counselor. So,
Okay.
yeah. Okay. Ms. Stevens, any other questions?
No, Your Honor.
All right. Mr. Barfield.
Thank you, Judge. I don't have any questions for Ms. Briancano, quite frankly. At this particular time, I would like to ask Ms. Morris a couple of questions, but that's not who the witness is right now.
Okay. All right. We can get to her here in just a minute. So,
Yes, sir.
does anybody have any other questions for Briancano?
I do, Your Honor.
Okay.
Ms. Cano, are there any additional outstanding services for the daughter that the department wishes to continue to evaluate, and that's the reason why you're asking for the case to remain open at this time?
No, I just wanted to ensure that Christian had all the resources that she needed, and that she's able to cope with the stress or anything, like just to be able to manage every situation that may come up with Caroline. So that's why we did recommend that she did continue counseling.
I see. But at this point in time, all of those supports are in place, and she's managing Carolyn's
Yes,
needs.
that's correct. That's correct. She's
Okay.
setting up all the doctor's appointments, dentist, vision, and she's making sure that she has attended every appointment.
Are there any outstanding appointments remaining that you're aware of, or is she up to date on all of those appointments?
Yes, she is currently up to date.
Okay, thank you. Pass the witness, Your Honor.
Okay, anybody else have questions for her?
No, Your Honor.
All right, Mr. Graff, any other witnesses?
No, sir.
Ms. Stevens, witnesses?
No, Your Honor.
All right. And Mr. Barfield, witnesses?
I just call Ms. Morris. I have a few questions.
Okay, Ms. Morris, if you'd raise your right hand. Barfield.
Yes, Ms. Morris, one of the things that I wanted to ask you was in the medication, I know there was some issues there for a while about the Cymbalta and getting that kind of regulated. What's the status of that, just for my edification?
I don't remember the exact date, but I contacted Dr. V to see if I could get her in, and he was out. So I sent a message on the portal. He got right back to me, told me to stop the Strattera.
Okay.
She was just sleeping a lot again, so we stopped that immediately. Then we went back to see him on the 19th, and he started her on a new medication for ADHD, and he left her Cymbalta the same, which
Okay.
it's not uncommon when they come out of the pavilion to be on a low dose and just slowly go up. So that's what he's done.
Okay. So Dr. V is actively working to regulate the medication. Have you noticed a change since the medication has been altered?
Oh, definitely. And this time we made the appointment, I believe it was 3 weeks out, so that we can check in with him again on this new medication, because it's new to her, but it's also fairly new on the market. So he wants to monitor her closely.
Okay. Now, in regards to her grades, how are her grades doing? Because I noticed there was some failing grades, and then there was a little bit of progress. Could you give us a status update as to how she's doing in school?
I can. It's a struggle. I think some of it is the ADHD. So we're trying to get that under control. We did have an ARD meeting on Wednesday of this week. So she's goal oriented, she's forward thinking, she's planning for next year. I think she realizes that the future matters, her education matters. So she's agreed to really buckle down and kind of double up and try to make up for the struggle this year.
And following up with that, are you receiving the help that you need to try to assist in her getting the help she needs to at least make passing grades at this point? Do you feel that you can handle that? That where she's going to school's helping is, kind of assure me that this grade, because you're right, the grades are a big deal to me, maybe because I'm a lawyer.
Well, I taught high school for 6 years, so it's a big deal to me, and I do stress the importance of that. And we've worked on time management and trying to stay focused. And this week, she's texted me and said, I choose peace, because she's had some drama with a girl at school, and she's asking to leave. Like, she stays in there for the lesson, but then she asked to leave to go somewhere to work quietly where she's not distracted. So I feel like she's advocating better for herself,
Yeah.
which is important because I can't be with her all the time.
Sure. Sure. Okay. All right. Your Honor, I think those were the two main things that I had some concerns about was just the medication mainly, because grades are grades. You can make them if you buckle down. So that's all the questions I have of this witness.
All right, Ms. Stevens, did you have questions?
No, Your Honor.
And Mr. Graff, do you have anything else?
No, Your Honor.
Ms. Morris, I'll just ask, is there anything that the department or St. Francis or this court can do to help you? Or are you ready to just have this case dismissed and proceed how you've been proceeding?
Yeah, I have dealt with medical stuff for 16 years with her, and I feel like I've got it. Like I'm doing the very best I can, and I'm not gonna miss her appointments because I do love her and want the best for her.
Okay.
And I feel like that is Dr. V, and we both really like the counselor she's seeing. So I'm gonna keep her in that as long as is as needed.
Okay. And you don't need, the department's not paying for anything on that. I guess is it through Medicare?
No,
You
I've
paid, I
paid
mean,
for all of
You
it.
do? Okay. Well, I just want to be sure if there's anything else we can do to help you, now would be the time to tell us. And if not, you understand you can always reach out and ask for help in the future.
Yes, sir.
Okay. So dismiss the case is what you want me to do?
Yes,
Okay.
please.
All right then. Mr. Barfield, anything to add?
No, Your Honor. As a matter of fact, I think that it would be a good recommendation today. I think this is a success.
Yeah. Ms. Morris, just let Caroline know the same thing. If y'all need help in the future, just come back. We'll be here.
Okay, thank you.
We've got we have no shortage of work, so we'll always be around. So all right, then, based on what I've heard today and the reports I've read, I do find it's in the best interest of Caroline that we go ahead and just dismiss this case at this time. Obviously, there'll be no future hearings set since the case is being dismissed. I'm sure Ms. Morris, you'll be happy not to have to see me again. So, all right,
Nothing personal.
that will conclude this hearing. I'll be back at
Mr. Graff is
9:30
with
to
us for
call
the
a Carson
department.
County status.
Casa is with us. Ms. Mullinax is with us, representing the child. Mr. Taylor's with us representing the father, Mr. Rogers, who's with us, and Ms. Stevens is with us representing the mother. I showed her as Alexis Snyder. She's on the screen as Alexis Rogers, but she is present. So that's all the parties. I have Michelle Slagle in the waiting room.
She's the caseworker, Your Honor, if you wouldn't mind letting her in.
Okay.
Thank you.
Okay. Everyone's with us. Mr. Graff, you may proceed.
Thank you, Your Honor. I have Ms. Slagle, if the court would prefer to just have an update, or we can put on brief testimony.
Ms. Slagle, if you'd unmute. Thank you. Mr. Graff?
Thank you, Your Honor. Ms. Slagle, just going to ask a couple of quick questions. Has a service plan been created for these folks?
Yes, it has.
And was that made in collaboration with them?
Yes, it was.
Okay. And did you review it with the parents, and did they sign the service plan?
Yes, they have.
Okay. And you filed it with the court?
Yes, sir.
Okay. You just go over quickly, what are the services identified that the family is agreeing to work?
Okay, on Alexis, it is to do a psychological evaluation and to follow any recommended services for that. Also, individual counseling, to actively participate and complete parenting classes, for Braden and Alexis to attend couples counseling. Also for Alexis to sign a release form, a release of information from any doctors that she has been to that has diagnosed her with her seizures and provided her with medication. That way we can continue that and help with that with her, and to be able to keep a sanitary home clean and healthy for for Dean. And then on Braden Rogers, individual counseling, actively participate in parenting classes, complete an OZAR assessment, do random drug screening, complete a psychological evaluation and any recommended services from that, Also to attend couples counseling with Alexis, to sign a release of information for any specialists or therapies that diagnosed him with autism, so we can help continue that for him if he needs any more therapies, and to keep a safe and healthy sanitary home for Braden. And of course, be able to have legal income, housing, and transportation, and a relapse prevention plan if needed. And that is for both of them.
Okay. And are those services narrowly tailored to address the issues identified in this case?
Yes.
And how so?
It will give them the parenting tools that they need to be able to parent Braden properly. It'll help them learn how to keep a safe and healthy environment for Braden. A psychological evaluation will help if there's any other kind of therapies that they might need to help them, both of them and Dean as he grows, and to help them have legal and stable home and income.
Okay. And are you asking that these services be made part of the court orders in this case at this time?
Yes.
Okay. And is it still contrary to the welfare for Braden to return home today?
Yes.
Where is he currently placed, and how is he doing in that placement?
He's currently placed in Lubbock, and he's doing very good in that home. He does have an appointment on April 2nd to have a sonogram to check. They think he might have hip dysplasia. But other than that, he's doing great. He's already sleeping through the night. He's eating good. He's in daycare, which he's doing really good there. He does great in visitation, so he's doing really good.
Are there any relatives or fictive kin placements available, or who have been identified at this point in time?
No, we've discussed it with both parents a couple of times, and we haven't been able to identify any relatives that could take him.
Okay. And what is the current visitation?
They get visitation on Mondays in person for 1 hour with Dean, and St. Francis helps facilitate the transportation for the parents.
Okay. Is that something you're willing to expand once the parents move forward with their service plan?
Yes, absolutely.
Okay. And the child's medical consenter is who?
Paul and I'm so sorry, it just slipped my mind. Paul Doyle. I'm not sure how to say that last name. Callahan.
Okay. So Mr. Doyle and his partner.
Yes. Yes.
Okay. And have reasonable efforts been made to either return the child home or to find a relative kinship placement for Braden?
Yes, I believe so.
Okay. Are you asking for that the department continue to be to have temporary managing conservatorship of the child for the time being?
Yes, sir.
And why is that?
So it'll give Braden and Alexis time to continue to work on the home, to get some of those parenting skills in, and to get a regular routine on being able to keep the house clean, decide what they're going to do with their animals, which are not necessarily saying that they have to get rid of them, but to get them vaccinated and make a plan of, being able to go in and out of the home, to go to the restroom, things like that. And they are working on those things. They have been working on cleaning, and so they do have a parent support worker that goes out to see them weekly, and she's helping with those things. Also to get Alexis on medication for her seizures, so we can get that under control. And then if Braden needs any more therapies for his autism, so I think it'll give them time to get all of that in order and get a good routine for Dean.
Okay. And I know there were some concerns on the part of the parents at the outset, and it made things perhaps a little bit combative, but since that time, since the DMC order was entered, the parents have been cooperative and collaborative with you.
Yes, they have. Yes, we've had many discussions. They've let us in the home. They've let us have tours of the home. Braden has been very respectful and understanding, and has been listening, listening to us and taking advice. So he's been doing really well.
Okay. Thank you. And so at this time, it's in Braden's best interest, though, to maintain the status quo and for the parents to move forward with services.
That is correct.
Any additional services or additional orders, that is, that you're requesting at this time?
No, sir.
Okay. Thank you. Pass the witness, Your Honor.
All right, Ms. Graff, I think you meant it was in Dean's best interest. You said Braden's best interest.
Did I? If I did, I meant
Yeah.
that, Your Honor. Yes, I got Dad and Dean's names confused. I apologize.
That's all right. I just wanted to be sure we're clear. So,
So,
okay, Ms. Stevens, questions?
No questions, Your Honor.
Mr. Taylor?
Yes, just briefly. And I know you've already said that that Braden signed a service plan. Was there one particular issue that he had some difficulty with and discussed with you?
I think it was the Ozar with the marijuana use, or the THC that was in his, that he had failed his drug screen for. Is that the one that you're pertaining to?
Yes. Did he identify with you, for you, some physical problems that he has?
Yeah, he did let me know that he has some pain issue and some back issues. And I did take pictures of the stuff that he buys and uses, which I'm not a professional or an expert on knowing anything about that stuff. So I will have to send that information to someone else to be able to further give me information on that. I know he said he does buy that from local stores, Allsups. I think Headhunters was another place. But like I said, I'm not a professional on that stuff. The bottle says 39% to 34% THCA, which I'm not for sure what that is. So I am going to send that along to somebody else that could, better give me information on that.
Did he also identify autism as one of his problems?
Yes, he did.
Okay. Other than that, he's been cooperative.
Yes, he has started to be cooperative. I think he understands that we're here to help him, and that we want to see them have a good future and help. And he has been cooperative for the last few weeks.
Thank you. Pass the witness, John.
All right. Ms. Slagle, as long as Mr. Rogers tells the OSAR people during his evaluation of what he's using and why, and shows it to him, then that's part of why we do an OSAR, isn't it?
Yes, sir, it is. Yes.
Okay.
I'm not a professional on that, so I will send that information
Right.
along.
Okay. Ms. Molinax, questions?
Yes, sir. Michelle, one of the big reasons for the removal was the state of the home. Is that correct?
That is correct.
And does the department or St. Francis have the ability to provide resources to help them clean up that home?
Yes, and actually, the parent support worker is working on helping get a list of some stuff that they need, a list of stuff that needs to be done, and help them make some goals on. I think it's overwhelming for them, so she's gonna help them make some goals on, working on certain areas. And getting that done and moving along. They have did a lot of work. You can absolutely tell from the first time I was in the home until the next month I was in the home. So they have been working on it, but we are working on getting some resources and some help and making some goals with them to help them get into a routine of that and to help them get the home clean.
And so if there's something that maybe hasn't been provided and they think of it, can they request help from St. Francis for those issues?
Yes, absolutely. Yeah. Yeah. And we're trying to help with those resources before it becomes a problem also. That way they have that in hand to be able to work on those things.
And you mentioned that Dean has an appointment. You said April 2nd. I think it might be April 4th, but to do the testing for the hip dysplasia.
Yes. He's got an ultrasound scheduled for that.
And that's, as far as we're all aware, that's nothing that the parents have done to cause that, right? It was something to do with his birth.
Yeah, I think it was to do with his birth. Yes. Yeah. I don't think there was anything. Mom didn't have any prenatal care when she was pregnant with him. But I mean, I don't think she physically did anything wrong. I mean, he's healthy. He was born healthy besides that. So, and they really aren't for sure if it is or not. So
I'd pass the witness.
All right. Anyone else have further questions for Ms. Slagle?
No, Your Honor.
All right. Mr. Graff, any other witnesses?
No, Your Honor, state rests. And
Thank you. Ms. Stevens, witnesses?
No, Your Honor.
Mr. Taylor?
Yes, I would like to call my client, Braden Rogers, briefly.
All right, Mr. Rogers, if you'd raise your right hand,
Yes,
please.
Braden, you heard Ms. Slagle's testimony, and is there anything about it that you disagree with other than we will address the drug issue specifically?
No, sir.
Okay. Now, with regard to the drug issue, you are using legally purchased CBD products. Is that correct?
Yes, sir.
And I think you've identified that helps you able to sleep and with some pain issues in your back. Is that correct?
Yes, sir.
Do you use that around the child?
No, sir.
I believe you identified to me that you only use that in the evenings when Alexis is there to take care of Dean, and often when Dean's already asleep.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Have you shown Ms. Slagle the labels, the packaging that the CBD comes in?
Yes, sir.
Okay. And you heard what was said about you being sure to take that with you if you drug test or if you have the OSAR appointment so that they can identify that and account for it. Is that correct?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Have anything you want to add to any of that?
No, sir.
Thank you. I'll pass witness, Your Honor.
All right, Mr. Graff, did you have questions?
Just a brief follow-up, Your Honor. Mr. Rogers, you understand that an OSAR assessment will not necessarily recommend drug treatment, correct?
I did not until now.
Okay. You don't recall having a discussion about that at the recent family team meeting?
We more than likely did. I just didn't more than likely understand at the time.
Okay. All right. Thank you. Nothing further, Your Honor.
Ms. Stevens?
No questions, Your Honor.
Ms. Mullinax?
No questions.
All right. Mr. Taylor, do you have any other witnesses?
No, I do not. I rest.
All right, thank you. Ms. Mullinax, recommendations?
Your Honor, I believe the placement is safe and appropriate. I believe that Dean is getting the possible medical treatment that he should be getting. I know that parents are having visits. I believe those visits are going well, and I think those should continue. And I think everything has gone well so far with Dean at this point.
Okay, all right, thank you. Ms. Rowland or Ms. Huckabee, does CASA have anything to add?
I'll let Ms. Huckabee. Kelly?
Can you hear me?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, so we agree that Dean needs to stay in the current placement while the parents work their service plan. He's doing really well, and so just continue the TMC with St. Francis.
Okay, all right, thank you.
Your Honor,
Yes.
Your Honor, if I may interrupt, I did fail to mention one thing. 1 hour a week is not a lot for these parents for visitation. And Mr. Rogers specifically had wanted me to ask that be increased, because it's a long time before we get to that initial review hearing.
Yeah, no, I don't have a problem as long as St. Francis can accommodate that. They have limited resources as far as the people who supervise the visitation. But if it's possible, I take it that the parents are going to Lubbock rather than Dean being brought to Amarillo for the visitations, correct? Anybody?
Yes, that is correct.
All right. I don't have a problem with increasing it to 2 hours weekly. They're making the drive. We might as well take advantage of the time, and it is a young child, and that's important that we continue that bonding. So,
Okay.
if St. Francis, I always preface it by saying if St. Francis can do it, I don't want to start just saying, okay, we're going to have this many hours a week, and you guys can't accommodate it. That doesn't help anybody. So, okay. Then I will continue the department as temporary manager and conservator, continue Dean's current placement. I'll order the services for each parent as contained in their service plans, and I will order that they have an additional 1 hour for a total of 2 hour weekly visits in person, if St. Francis can accommodate that. All right. Mr. Rogers and Miss Rogers, I show you as Miss Rogers here. Can you both hear me?
Yes, sir.
Okay, I have to admonish you today that the services that you've agreed to work in your service plan, they become a court order today. At a final hearing, if you haven't worked those services, your parental rights could be altered or terminated. Do you understand that?
Yes.
Yes, sir.
Okay, that's just, I have to say that. I don't have any reason to believe you won't work your services, but it's something by law I have to state after any of the status hearings like today. So, okay. Our next hearing will be an initial permanency hearing. That's to just basically see how Dean's doing and how the parents are progressing on their services. That will be on August 1st, 2025. It will be by Zoom, just like today's hearings. So parties and attorneys the parties can either contact their attorney or go on the court's online docket a day or two before August 1st so that you'll know exactly what time of day we'll have that hearing. So. All right, then, that will conclude this hearing. We'll stand in recess. I'll be back at 10 o'clock to call a Desmond County case. That is Mr. Graff is with us for the department. Ms. Gomez is with us representing the child. Mr. Pirtle's with us representing the mother, Ms. Balderas. Mr. Pirtle, is she with you? She's not in the waiting room. You're muted.
Sorry, Judge. She's not with me. I'm not sure if she's going to show up or not.
Okay. And Ms. Hutton is with us representing the father, Mr. Cisneros, and I assume that's him there with you. Is that correct, Ms. Hutton?
Yes, it is.
Okay. All right. We've got CASA in this case, and I can't remember. We don't do enough of the Duff Smith County cases. I have Carla Ramirez, Monica Olivas, Haiti Herrera, and Shay Cairns in the waiting room. I know who Shay is.
Shay's my caseworker, Your Honor, and I think Ms. Olivas is the CASA. I'm not sure about the other folks.
All right.
Haiti is also with CASA.
Okay. Okay, that only leaves Carla Ramirez. All right. What I have is
Judge, Carla is our advocate volunteer.
Oh, okay.
With CASA.
Then
Yes, sir.
that's everybody. Let's get everybody in. All right. I've got, I think, basically two motions. One filed on behalf of Mr. Cisneros by Ms. Hutton. That is first amended objection to the child custody evaluation and motion to reevaluation and motion of modification of plan. That's pending. I've read it. You're going to have to walk me through it because a lot of it I'm not sure I understood. And then I do have a motion to modify Mr. Cisneros' family plan of service. Mr. Pirtle, I'll tell you, I've read the motion. I did not read the attached, I guess they're pages from a journal of hers or not. I didn't even read it because it's obviously not admissible. And I don't know how we're going to deal with that when she's not present. So I'll just let you know, we'll table that motion for right now. So is there anything else? That's the only two motions I've been provided with.
No, Your Honor. It's Tempe Hutton. May it please the court. And just so you know, I've got COVID, and so we're trying to be hard. And we filed a motion for termination, and we filed. We've let the court know that there has been a circulated order, Your Honor, together with some other documents. Everyone has signed off on that order. We just need to prove it up, except the apparently Mr. Pirtle's client has not been available to him so that there can be any kind of response by him or her. And so the departments, Mr. Graff, Shay, I think has everybody, the ad litem.
What are we talking about? An agreed order on
Termination of parental rights for Mr. Cisneros.
All right, I was looking at this. I read it. I wanted to be sure it wasn't just a misprint. You're basically, has he signed a relinquishment affidavit?
Yes, Your Honor. I have a waiver of interest of child and a affidavit for voluntary relinquishment of parental rights, and we will get those filed immediately with the order that everybody has already signed, save and accept, if the court would accept the order and sign it today. After that point,
let's take these one at a time. I can't sign I can't sign a termination order on him today if that affidavit of relinquishment has not been filed. So if it's not filed yet, that's premature.
Okay.
I don't have a problem if everybody signs off agreeing to it. Once it's on file, then we don't have to have another hearing. I can sign it based on that, but not until that actual affidavit is on file.
So how long does that have to be on file? I mean, if I can file at this moment, can we, do you need to prove up anything, Your Honor?
Oh, it's typically, I think like 3 days, but if no one objects, that's fine. We could take a short break and see if we can get it filed.
Yeah. Hey, I think it's being filed. Staff, have you got it filed? Can you please, those documents?
Yes.
The filing, please, or they are filed?
I've got them ready to go, just waiting for approval.
Filed.
All three?
These two affidavits.
Okay.
The order's not signed.
Right.
And then once you do that, send the proposed order.
Okay, while we're waiting on that,
Okay.
Ms. Hutton, since he's going to relinquish, I guess that makes your other motion moot. We don't need to hear it.
Yes, Your Honor. And that's why we were trying to get those expedited today. And I came in even though I've got COVID, because that takes him and me out of the year. And the costs of going forward, you're only going to be dealing with one parent.
Okay. All right. We can let's just take about a 10-15 minute break.
Can we make it?
Let me just ask, is anybody going to object to going ahead if we get that on file today, does anybody want more time before we go ahead and act on it?
No objection.
Okay. All right. No objection. Miss Hutton, I'm going to go ahead and turn my camera off, but I can hear you when if you get that back filed, just let us know and then I'll reconvene this hearing.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Thank you. Okay. Ms. Canada tells me that the two documents have been e-filed, but we don't know when the clerk might get around to accepting them. So what I want to do, I'll go ahead and we'll take whatever little bit of testimony we need, and then I just don't present me with the order until we know that they're actually on file. So there's no reason for us to sit around and wait. I won't sign the order till I know it's on file. So, all right. Ms. Hutton, did you want to offer your client to prove that up or what?
Yes, Your Honor, I sure would.
Okay. All right. Mr. Cisneros, if you would raise your right hand.
Mother.
Yes.
And after beginning this process, You have decided to execute an affidavit for a voluntary relinquishment of parental rights.
Yes.
And you've made several conscious decisions, and do you believe it's in the child's best interest that the judge enter the order that you have yourself executed? And it's your understanding that the departments and the attorney, Mr. Graff, is also executed.
Yes, I do.
And you're asking the judge to execute the order that states that your rights are terminated, you will not be responsible for any further expenses going forward, and that you or the child do not have any Indian blood.
Yes, I do.
And you're asking the court to execute an order today terminating your rights, and that you don't have to prepare any kind of a medical history or report. You're done today.
Yes, I do understand.
Pass the witness.
All right. Mr. Cisneros, did anybody pressure you in any shape, form, or fashion to sign this relinquishment affidavit?
No, sir.
Okay. You realize once the order's signed and you are terminated, that's a final order, and very limited circumstances could you ever try to set that aside. You understand that?
Yes, sir, I do.
Okay. And you still want me to go forward today? Well, not today, but as soon as that's on file, you want me to go ahead and sign that order that terminates your parental rights as to Quentin?
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay. Thank you. Mr. Pirtle, any questions?
No questions.
Ms. Gomez?
No questions, Your Honor.
Thank you. Mr. Graff?
No questions, Your Honor. Thank you.
Okay. All right. Ms. Hutton, did you have anything else?
No, rest of close, Your Honor. Thank you for your time today.
Hope you get to feeling better.
Thank you.
All right. Does anyone else have witnesses for today's hearing? No? Okay. Let me ask, Ms. Gomez, your recommendation as to whether or not I should accept the relinquishment affidavit and terminate Mr. Cisneros?
I believe you should accept it, Your Honor.
Okay. Thank you. And Casa?
Yes, sir.
Okay. All right, then, based on the evidence I've heard, as well as the affidavit of relinquishment that Mr. Cisneros has stated he has signed, and then we know has at least been e-filed, once that is actually accepted and filed by the clerk, then I will sign an order that terminates Mr. Cisneros' rights as to Quentin. I do find that it's in the best interest of Quentin, and once that affidavit is on file, that it is in Quentin's best interest that I terminate the rights of Terry Andrew Cisneros.
Thank you, Your Honor. May we be excused?
No, not yet. I've got to put something else on the record. Mr. Cisneros, just so you know, I'm terminating you based solely on that affidavit of relinquishment and no other grounds that may have been alleged against you. So it's based solely on your affidavit, okay?
Yes, sir.
All right, then I will just, since we're here, I will continue the department as temporary managing conservator and continue Quentin's current placement. Our next hearing was already scheduled, but that will be the initial permanency hearing on April 16th, 2025. That will be by Zoom like today's hearing, so parties and attorneys can go on the court's online.
Again, Ms.
docket a
Wildman
day
for
or
the
two
department,
in
Mr.
advance.
Nowak for the child. Ms. Grant is with us representing Ms. Dominguez, the mother who's with us. Mr. Barfield is with us representing the father in that case, Mr. Hathaway, who I show is incarcerated. All right, this case was set for 9 o'clock. It's now 9:08. We'll proceed in Mr. Michelson absence, as well as the two fathers who are incarcerated. I have Tim Koval and Christy Sanders in the waiting room.
I need Tim Koval for this case, Judge. Christy Sanders, I believe, is the mother in our 1045 hearing.
All right.
Thank you, Judge. The department would call Tim Koval.
Okay.
All right, and so let's start just by getting an update on the children. Since our last hearing, are there any updates in regards to Rayleigh's?
Rayleigh's doing very well. It's kind of the same as it has been. She's a good student. She has no negative behaviors. She's doing very well in her placement, making very good grades at school.
And is Rayleigh currently in a kinship placement?
She is. She's with her great-grandmother.
And that's here in the Emerald area?
Yes.
Is Rayleigh on any kind of medications or anything?
No, she's not.
Any medical concerns?
No.
All right, so then let's talk about Steve. What sort of updates do we have regarding Steve's last hearing?
Stephen recently started tutoring with the WHIP program, which he's doing every Wednesday to work on vocabulary and English related issues. He did get a progress report from the school that he's a little bit behind his peers in several categories. So I'm going to be working with the school to see what their recommendation is for how he can finish strong the next couple of months, and if their recommendation is to repeat first grade or if they feel like they can address it in some other way. But other than that, I mean, he's a very intelligent boy, and it's got a little bit of behaviors in terms of he'll take his assignments home in his backpack and then remove them from the backpack and then tell the caregivers that he doesn't have any homework. So we've had to talk to him about the difference between truth and a lie and being honest. And I think he's getting it now.
Has he been evaluated for any kind of learning disabilities or anything like that?
No, he is not. And that's another thing I want to talk to the school about, is if we can have an ARD meeting this spring for him. He has had a past medical diagnosis of, trying to think what the terminology was, atypical behavior spectrum. So I think there's some concern about maybe being on the spectrum for autism.
But at this point, that hasn't been followed up on yet?
It has not. And he is very verbal.
Okay. Now, have there been any other medical concerns since our last hearing?
No, not with Stephen.
And he's not on any medication, right?
Correct.
All right. Anything else that the court needs to be aware of?
No.
All right. Now, let's talk about the younger two boys, James and Koa. Are they still currently in the foster placement that they've been with?
Yes.
And are there any updates on James?
James is doing well. He did have one incident some weeks back in which he wet the bed, which was very unusual for him, and it followed one of the visits with mom, and so we were wondering if it was related to the visit with mom, and just him processing that. He had not done that before, and he hasn't done that since. So right now, we'll continue to monitor that, but it hasn't recurred other than that one time. Other than that, he's doing very well in his daycare. I saw him Friday night when he came up for the sibling visit to Amarillo, and very happy and loving. And James is doing very well in his placement.
All right. And any updates on Koa?
Koa, you'll recall in the past, has had issues with getting upset, holding his breath, and then passing out because he holds his breath for too long. That has gotten a good bit better. There had not been any incidents of the actual passing out part of it since probably January. He does still hold his breath sometimes, but I think he's learning to regulate that and to know when too long is too long. He did have a very, very minor episode this weekend, but he didn't pass out. So he does have a neurologist appointment, just out of an abundance of caution. That was scheduled way out for May 15th. So that's still pending. But he had an EEG from his PCP, back in the late fall or winter, and they eliminated seizures or anything of that nature. So really don't feel like there's anything going on other than just holding the breath too long.
But they're gonna go ahead and keep following up on that as just to check, right?
Yes.
Is Koa or James on any kind of medication?
No.
All right. And so
I will say Koa has had some ear infections lately. He has been on some antibiotics for that. And I think he's kind of approaching a threshold of where if you've had too many ear infections in a period of time, then they, evaluate the ear for, potentially putting tubes in, that sort of thing. Not quite there yet, but potentially.
And you have no concerns with placement following up on that?
No.
All right. So now what is the current permanency goal in both of these cases?
Okay, we've got a primary permanency goal for the older children, for Rayleigh and Stephen, which is relative adoption, concurrent with family reunification. So that's a change since the last hearing. I believe February 24th, we made that goal change so that family reunification is not the primary goal, but it is still the concurrent goal. Now, with the younger children, the primary goal is unrelated adoption, concurrent with family reunification.
And that goal change essential. I mean, are those two different goals essentially because the department, if at this point, would like to see the children remain in the placements that they're in long term?
Yes, Rayleigh and Stephen are in kinship placements, and they're doing very well with those. And then the younger boys are in a foster placement, and they're doing very well there. And the placement there is willing to keep them long term if it comes to that.
All right, so let's talk about the parents' progress on their service plans. Now, has there been any updates in trying to identify a possible father for Steve?
I do not have any updates on that.
And Mr. Baez, the father of the younger two, where is he currently located?
He is currently in TDCJ at the Lindsay unit, serving a 12-year sentence.
Now, does he have a courtesy worker or anybody that's working with him on his services?
He does have a courtesy worker, and she has reported after speaking with him in person that he is located in a faith-based dormitory of that unit, and he's taking a lot of classes that are faith-based. Certain other things he won't be able to take because he can't move from one dorm to things that are offered in another dorm, is the way I understood it. But he is willing to help with everything. And he did just send back a signed family plan that I got the courtesy worker to have him sign. So I will be filing that with the court this week.
So from his service plan, I mean, what are some of the services that he's unable to complete?
Parenting classes, individual counseling. He can't drug test for us, although he can be tested by TDCJ. BIP classes, if I don't think those are offered in the faith-based dormitory that he's in, but actually I take that back. According to the courtesy worker, she said that he is on a waiting list for BIP. So it is offered to him, and he is signed up for it. It's just whenever they can get him into it.
Is he having any visitation with the children?
No, he's not.
And obviously, I mean, is it fair to say that he wouldn't be able to complete any of the housing or employment or stability-based services?
Correct.
Now, Rayleigh's father, Vic Hathaway, what, I guess, sort of contact or progress have we had with Mr. Hathaway?
Mr. Hathaway has been incarcerated in the Wheeler County Jail. That was an overflow from the Gray County Jail. They transferred him over there, and he remains incarcerated at the Wheeler County Jail on probation/parole violation.
Has he been cooperative or communicative with the department?
He meets with me when I come to see him. There's really not much that he can do. There aren't services that are offered to him in the jail that are in line with our family plan that we've asked him to do. He did indicate, I mean, he's been there in excess of 90 days, and he indicated that he was just waiting on his PO to make a decision about what she was going to do with him. So it was unclear whether he's going to be released imminently or if he's going to be transferred back to TDCJ imminently.
Has he indicated whether or not he intends to cooperate with the department upon release?
Yes,
If he's released?
yes, we talked about the BIP classes, which is sort of our number one priority that we would like to see him do. And then very close behind that would be rehab. And he has indicated that he's willing to go to rehab.
So really, we're just kind of waiting to see what happens with the criminal side of things before he can make any progress.
Yes.
Okay, so let's then talk about Jessica Dominguez, the mother's progress. Since our last hearing, has she completed any additional services from her family plan of service?
She did complete a psychological evaluation. We went through about 8 cancellations or no shows before she did complete it with Stonebridge. So on February 21st, she completed that.
Okay. But has she completed any other services at this time?
No, she is not.
Is she actively enrolled in any of the classes or services she's supposed to be completing?
The latest information I have from her is that she is enrolled in parenting classes and the domestic violence support group, both of those through Family Support Services. And she has self-reported that she's completed 2 classes of each of those. I don't have independent confirmation of that. Parenting class would be a 10-week class. So if she's completed 2, then she's 1/5 of the way there.
Okay. Now, has she started any of her individual counseling?
No, she's not.
And has she done anything to address the substance abuse issues after the OSAR in December?
So the OSAR suggested or recommended that she go to outpatient rehab, which she refused initially. And then several weeks back or a month back, she did get in touch with Centacor and did set an appointment, and she didn't show for that first appointment. I was on the phone with her and with Centacor about an hour before that was going to happen on March the 13th at 10 a.m. And she said later that she didn't go. So the outpatient rehab has not happened. And I will inform the court that last weekend she moved to North Carolina to stay with her brother. So she is now out of state.
Okay. And so is that new information that we have since the completion of this court report?
Yes.
Does that raise any additional concerns for the department?
It does raise concerns in the sense that it only gets harder to complete services when you're out of state. Just the nature of the fact that we set up services in Texas, and she can't really work with a North Carolina provider and us help her with that to a large extent. So that's our concern. I don't know how she's going to do rehab. And I'm waiting, for her to follow up and see if there's a rehab in North Carolina that she could go to.
Do you know if she's out of state, if she'll be able to complete the parenting or domestic violence support groups that she's begun?
Well, the parenting and the domestic violence support groups are both online. So if they're virtual, she can do that from anywhere. So that's something that I'm not that concerned about, but I am concerned about dealing with the rehab and with the substance use that is, very central to the case.
Is Ms. Dominguez required to drug screen for the department?
She is.
When is the last time that she has screened?
The last time she screened was in January. She had screened in September before that. She's been very difficult for me to get compliance from with drug screening, but she did screen in January, and her hair follicle did test positive, and it was twice the level of what it had been in May of 24 before the kids were removed and she was working the FBSS case.
Now, in between the testing that she did comply with, did you request additional testing?
Yes.
And
I asked her to test every month, and there were a lot of reasons given, being sick, having her gallbladder removed, having to work. Just she has always had reasons, but it's been difficult to confirm whether those reasons were valid.
and so let's see. Do you Let me ask about visitation, because if I remember from the last hearing, there have been some issues with her attendance at visitation. Has that improved since the last hearing?
Maybe over the past week or so, it's improved, but prior to that, it was still very much not regular. I would say that the individual visits with Rayleigh were maybe once a month, and there's been times with Stephen where she didn't see him at all in a month. She had a little bit better compliance with the visits for the younger boys.
And so just to, I guess, maybe clarify, are the visits with Rayleigh and Stephen in person?
Well, they have been up until her move to North Carolina. Yes.
How often are they supposed to happen?
They're weekly.
Okay.
Rayleigh's visit is on Wednesdays, and Stephen's has been on Tuesdays.
Okay. And so, do you recall, I guess, when Miss Dominguez said she had her gallbladder removed?
It was, I believe, at some point in either January or February.
And so you wouldn't expect that to affect the visitation prior to that or more than a couple weeks after that, correct?
Correct.
And so did the visitation with the children was it still spotty even with that consideration?
Yes, there was one weekend where I'm asking her to drug test, and she's telling me that she has 105 fever and tested positive for COVID, but was unwilling to send me a picture of the positive COVID test. And that was on a Saturday, and then on a Tuesday she goes to her visit with Stephen 3 days after this COVID test, and she's fine and doesn't even bring up the fact of being sick. So it's been a little difficult to ascertain what's really going on sometimes.
Now, did Miss Dominguez tell you that she had moved prior to moving?
Not prior to moving. So Saturday I was in Amarillo and I texted her. That's this past Saturday, not this past weekend, but the weekend before. I was in Amarillo. I texted her, wanted to go by and visit her because I had driven past her house and it didn't look like it was currently occupied anymore, but I wasn't sure, and her vehicle was not there. And so I texted her, and she finally texted me back several hours ago on that Saturday. So, several hours later on that Saturday to state that her phone had been dead. So I didn't see her on Saturday, and then Sunday she's trying to contact me, and she did contact my supervisor who happened to be on call, stating that she was looking to move to North Carolina. And then Monday I did talk to her, and she was already en route to North Carolina.
Okay. So at this point, do we know how that's going to affect the visitation with the children?
The individual visits that have been in person, we don't use our own workers to supervise virtual visits like that on a regular basis. What I have to do is refer those out for a third party contractor to do those visits for us. So we will set those up, and those are still going to happen. They just won't be supervised by a St. Francis worker.
Okay. Do we have any concerns about how the children may react to this sudden change?
Well, I was able to see some of the sibling visit that occurred Friday with all four children, and she was on the laptop of the worker. So I observed that the younger boys, they were looking intently at the screen and calling her mama and smiling at her. So they were interacting with her pretty well, even though it was online.
Are there any other updates regarding Ms. Dominguez or her services that we need to bring before the court today?
Not that I can think of.
Okay. At this point, do you believe that there's a continuing danger in attempting to place the children back with their mother?
Yes.
And just briefly, why?
Well, the neglect and the substance use that were at the heart of the removal, those still seem to be taking place. She hasn't made the children a priority over other things in her life. So until we can see that there is a pattern of putting her children first and having stability in her life and gaining sobriety and keeping sobriety, we need to look out for the welfare of the children.
With the recent move, do we know if where she's gone is even appropriate for the children?
I obviously have not laid eyes on the home, but I do know that it's her brother, and he is married, and he does have a child. And in talking to Rayleigh's great grandmother, who raised the brother along with Jessica, she says that he has a good home and that he's a good person. So at this point, I don't really have any problems with that home.
Okay. But the bigger concern is Jessica not completing services and not showing that willingness to make herself safe for the children.
Correct.
Now, is it at this point, or can we safely return Rayleigh to Vic Hathaway?
No.
And why not?
Because Vic Hathaway is incarcerated.
Does he also have services that he needs to complete?
Yes, he has the BIP program that he needs to complete.
Yeah, we've already been over all that, Ms. Wildman, about the services for the fathers. So,
and then, all right, Judge. And then at this point, would it be a continuing danger to try and place the younger two boys back with Mr. Baez?
Yes, because he is incarcerated.
Okay. And do you believe the department is making reasonable efforts to reunify the family?
Yes.
By working those services with the family?
By working services and by doing visitation.
Okay. I'll pass the witness, Judge.
All right, Ms. Grant, any questions?
Just one, Your Honor. Mr. Covell, with the current goals in this case being set as they are, do you believe mediation might be a proper avenue to try to resolve these children's permanency?
Mediation has really not been on our radar to do. So I'm not sure how to answer that without doing some staffing on our side.
Okay. That's okay. Thank you, Mr. Covell. Appreciate it.
Mr. Barfield?
No questions, Judge.
All right. Ms. Gomez?
No questions, Your Honor.
Mr. Nowak?
No questions, Judge. I would just like to thank Tim for his thorough report and his thorough testimony. He's always very thorough. He's like a little Columbo there for St. Francis. Tim,
Absolutely.
Thank you. Makes my job really, really easy. Thank you so much, Judge. I'll pass the witness.
All right, thank you. I echo that, Mr. Coble. It's always a pleasure to have you. We get what we need in a concise manner. So thank you for that.
Thank you.
All right, then, Ms. Wildman, any other witnesses?
No, Your Honor.
Ms. Grant, witnesses?
No witnesses, Judge.
Mr. Barfield?
No witnesses.
Ms. Gomez?
No witnesses, Your Honor.
Mr. Nowak?
No witnesses, Judge.
All right, Mr. Nowak, recommendations?
With respect to all the children, the department continue as TMC, and that the children's placement be continued and improved, and encourage moms to do something. That's it, Judge.
All right, thank you. All right, then, in both cases, I will continue the department as temporary managing conservator. I'll continue all the children's current placements. In both cases, I will suspend Ms. Dominguez's visitation until she provides the department with a negative hair strand and UA drug screen. And I'm going to order mediation in both cases. Through my career, I've found that some of the cases I thought would never settle at a mediation do, and some of them that I thought absolutely would did not, but it's always worth a shot. So, okay, I'll set a final in both cases for July 7th, 2025. It will be by Zoom like today's hearings, so parties and attorneys can go on the court's online docket a day or two in advance of July 7th to see exactly what time we'll have that hearing. I will go ahead and note that from what I've seen so far in this case, I'm not seeing anything on the horizon that would incline me to find that there's extraordinary circumstances to extend this case. So I'm guessing this will be a final hearing on July 7th. So, all right, we will stand in recess on this case. I'll be back here in about at 9:45 to call another Randall County case. That's a status hearing. Ms. Gutierrez is with us for the department. Ms. Wiggins is with us representing the child. Mr. Michelson's not with us. He represents the mother, Miss Shelley, who is also not with us. Mr. Jackson is with us representing an unknown father. And Mr. Scales, the alleged father, is not with us either. Mr. Michelson missed our last hearing, so we will go ahead and proceed in his absence. I have Haven Doucette in the waiting room.
That's my caseworker on this one, Your Honor.
Okay.
And Your Honor, am I right that the mother's not in this hearing either?
Correct.
She's having difficulties with the link, but she's attempting to log on. She just called me.
Okay, I'll give it just a minute. Maybe we've tried to call Mr. Michelson. We can't find him, but as everybody knows, we've got a busy day, so we can't afford to wait on lawyers today. So we'll give her a minute to see if she can join in with us. Okay, she's not joined us yet. I'll keep watching the waiting room, but we're going to have to go ahead and proceed. So as soon as we get Ms. Gutierrez back, we'll get started. All right, Ms. Gutierrez, you may call your first witness.
Thank you, Your Honor. The department calls Haven Doucette.
Okay.
And did you file a court report on March 20th of 2025?
Yes.
Your Honor, we ask that the court take judicial notice of that court report.
All right, so noted, and I did read that report.
Thank you, Your Honor. Haven, since the filing of the court report, what are the updates on the child, Heavenly?
Heaven's doing very good in placement. I went and saw her. She is cooing. She's awake. Placement explained that she loves the fan. She watches it and talks to it all the time. There's no concerns with her health, as she's doing very good with her withdrawals from birth.
That is great to hear. And what city or county is she currently placed in?
She's placed in Carson County.
And is that in a foster home?
Yes.
And in regards to the mother, Brittany Shelley, can I get an update on how she is doing?
Brittany is completing her services. She has gotten a job that she is working at. She's starting her parenting classes with Hope's Choice, and she is attending her visits.
And how are those visits going?
They're going well. They're now at 2 hours, and her and Heaven do very well with one another.
And in regard to Mr. Scales, are there any updates on Jade Scales?
No updates at this time. Once I receive the paternity testing, I will get that sent and let him know.
And you mean the order?
Yes, the order for that.
Great. That should be sent today by my office to you.
Yes, ma'am.
Are there any other updates on Mr. Scales?
No.
Is he having any visitation with the child?
Not at this time.
Are we waiting until genetic testing is back to facilitate that?
Yes, if he would like visits, I can set them up. It just had no interest had been expressed about those.
Now, in regards to the mother, are there any issues regarding her drug use right now?
Last Monday, I was reported by her probation officer that when she went to check in, she tested positive. I sent her to go and drug screen, and I received those results this morning, and they were negative.
And according to probation, what drug did mom test positive for on their test?
Methamphetamines.
And when you sent her to drug screen for St. Francis, what type of drug screen was that?
It was a UA.
And was that done the same day or the day after the?
It was done the following day, the morning of the following day.
Okay, and for clarification on the timeline, do you know the day or date that probation had done their test?
The 24th.
And what is the date that we did our test?
Let me pull it up so I can tell you the exact date. We did our test. It was completed on the 27th.
Okay. Would you agree that that's more than a couple of days after the test for probation?
I do.
Do we have any concern because of that test with probation regarding mom's visitation?
There were at the visit, I asked the supervisor to watch closely, and if mom appeared to be under the influence, to end the visit immediately. And the supervisor said there were no concerns.
Okay. So at this time, we're not asking for any changes to mother's visitation. Is that correct?
Correct.
All right. As a part of your duties as a permanency specialist, did you create service plans for both Brittany and Jade?
Yes.
And do those service plans aim to mitigate the reasons for removal?
They do.
Are they reasonably tailored to the issues for removal?
Yes.
Can you please identify 2 or 3 only services that are unique to Brittany?
Random drug screening, OSAR assessment, and completion of parenting courses.
And for the OSAR assessment, is that a substance abuse assessment?
Yes.
And in regards to Jade, can you please identify 2 or 3 only services that are unique to him?
Completion of parenting courses, individual counseling, and also an OSAR.
And again, that's a substance, correct?
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
Do we have any concerns of substance abuse by Jade?
Not at this time.
Did Brittany review and sign her service plan?
She did.
Did Jade review and sign his service plan?
Not at this time, but I will, once it's completed, I'll e-file that.
Okay, I'm going to ask you for more details on that answer. Did you make attempts to review the service plan with Jade?
I have not.
Okay. Are we asking for any drug screens to be ordered today?
No.
Your Honor, I don't know if this is the appropriate time, but I am curious if we could do a stop and start on this hearing since Ms. Doucette has not had an opportunity to make attempts to go over that and with Jade Scales.
Okay, no, I don't have a problem with that. We can just recess until that's done and then take it up. Just
Yes.
notify my office and we'll reset it when it's time.
Yes, Your Honor. I think Haven, what would you need? Like a week to get that to at least, I think what I'm concerned about is that I think the record needs at least attempts to go over that service plan, Your Honor.
Yeah, I agree.
Yes, ma'am.
Brittany, let's just get a date. This shouldn't take long. I mean, a very few minutes. So we can just add it to one of our dockets.
Okay, how far out?
What we said, did we say a week?
I think a week would be fine, Brittany. If it doesn't fit on that docket, then 4/14 would be fine as well.
Yes, 4/14 would be a great day.
Okay.
That's a Monday.
All right. Let me ask Ms. Doucette, when was Miss Shelley's last hair strand drug screen?
After following the adversary.
Okay, so that would have been
the 4th.
March 3rd or 4th.
Yes, sir.
All right. Yeah, I'll go ahead. I'm going to recess the case so that you can go over the service plan with Mr. Scales. Whether he signs it or not is immaterial, just the fact that you made an attempt to go over it with him. So, but I'm going to go ahead and order today that Miss Shelley provide another hair strand test. If she was positive for probation and then negative on a UA for those two, if she's used recently, it should show up in another hair strand. So,
yes, sir.
Was her last hair strand, was she positive on that one?
That one was negative.
Okay, well let's just do another hair strand and UA, and we'll have a clean slate knowing whether or not she's sober or not. So we can go ahead and get that done. Hopefully, we may not have the results, but we can get that. I'm going to order that it be done today. So if you will talk to her again, since she couldn't log on, let her know she needs to test today. So,
Yes, sir.
okay, Ms. Gutierrez, is there anything else we need to do today before we recess?
This one, no, Your Honor.
Okay. Mr. Jackson, anything we need to do on behalf of you or your client?
Yeah, I just had a quick question for this witness, if I may.
Sure.
Ma'am, on March the 4th, I had sent over to Ms. Gutierrez some information with regard to Justin Scales. I think at the last hearing, I'd informed the court about what we found, and the court had advised me to give that information over to the department since you all have more resources. Have you all been able to locate him based on that information?
We have not been able to locate him. We have a specialist who is looking into finding him, though, with her database.
Okay, very good then. Pass the witness, Your Honor. Thank you.
Ms. Wiggins, anything we need to deal with today?
No, I just had one question. Did mom give you any response as to why she would be positive for probation?
No.
Did the probation officer indicate whether or not they were going to do a motion to revoke her probation?
They explained in the county that they were in, they were filing a warrant for her, but it had not been completed.
Anything else?
No, I forgot to say pass the witness. Thanks,
Okay.
Judge.
All right, then. As far as today, I'll continue the department's temporary manager conservator, continue the current placement. I'll order the services for Miss Shelley as contained in her service plan today. And I will order that she both hair strand and UA drug screen by 4 p.m. today at Care Express. I'll go ahead and reset. Well, she just came into the waiting room. We'll just bring her in and let her know what's going on. All right, Miss Shelley, this is Judge Graham. If you'd unmute. Let me ask. We're here. Somebody's giving us feedback. Miss Shelley, could you turn your volume down?
Could you turn your volume down?
All right, let's try it again. There, that's better. Miss Gutierrez, did anybody have any questions for Miss Shelley today before we recess?
No, Your Honor. I don't have any questions for her. Maybe next time if Mr. Michelson's here.
Okay, all right. Okay, Miss Shelley, we've almost concluded your hearing. I'll tell you briefly what went on. Let me just tell you. I have continued the department as temporary manager conservator, continued Heaven's current placement. I will order the services for you that are contained in your service plan today. And then I've ordered today that you hair strand and UA drug screen by 4 p.m. today at Care Express. Do you have transportation to get to your drug screen?
Yes, I do.
Okay, all right. So be sure you get that done by 4 o'clock today. They've not been able to go over the service plan for Mr. Scales. So what we're going to do, your order stays in place today, but I'm going to recess this case or just stop it for now. We're going to reconvene it on April 14th so that we can see where we stand with Mr. Scales. Maybe we'll have his paternity test done. Maybe we won't. I don't know. But we'll come back on the 14th. That will be our next hearing. Your lawyer will explain that to you. Your lawyer wasn't here today either, so you'll need to get with him or vice versa so that y'all can be ready on April 14th.
Yes,
okay.
sir.
Okay. We'll stand in recess on this case. I'll be back here in about 10 minutes to call on the same two related cases. Modify temporary, both on visitation. In that case, again, Ms. Gutierrez for the department, Ms. Wiggins for the children, Mr. Pirtle's with us representing the mother, Ms. Moore, who is with us. I think. Yeah. Okay. And again, Ms. Kincaid is with us for Mr. Fuentes, who is either not with us or is incarcerated. And Mr. Pirtle's with us representing the mother in that case, Ms. Moore, who is with us. All right. That accounts for everyone except for Mr. Fuentes. So this case was set for 10:15. It's now 10:21. We'll proceed in his absence. I have Angela Tidwell and Michelle Silva in the waiting room.
Michelle Silva is my worker on this one, Your Honor.
Okay.
Ms. Silva, who do you work? Oh, I'm sorry, I jumped.
Is that your witness?
Yes, Your Honor, we call her as.
All right. Ms. Silva, if you'd raise your right hand, please.
Okay,
You swear-
and we are here on a motion to ask the court to consider changing the father's visitation. Is that correct?
Correct.
Can you tell me what concerns have arisen regarding the father's visitation since we were last here just a few weeks ago?
Michael tested on a hair follicle in February for high levels of cocaine.
And in addition to that, were there any issues with the father's visitation, with the father's supervised visitation?
Yes.
When did that concern arise?
That was in February or March, the beginning of March.
Would that have been March 7th of 2025?
Yes.
Can you please explain how you know of these events?
So the children told me that they had went to eat at a restaurant with Michael, and grandma and aunt were there with them, but the person supervising the visit was not with them. She stayed home with the younger child, Lamella, which is Macy.
And would you agree that Mr. Fuentes is aware that Ms. Macy is the only visitation supervisor other than St. Francis that he can have for supervised visitation?
Yes.
And have you had an opportunity to ask Mr. Fuentes why he made these actions?
He stated he did not know.
Okay. In regards to Mr. Fuentes' whereabouts today, do you know where he is right now?
He is in Potter County Jail.
And do you have any information on what that arrest is for?
He had a warrant for charges, for a charge he had of possession and then his DUI charge.
Okay. Now, going back to our request before the court, in what way are you asking the court to change the father's visitation?
We would like to either change to virtual visits with Michael, supervised by St. Francis.
Okay, and how many hours a week are we asking for that to be?
He has 4 hours right now. We're asking either 1 to 2 hours if available.
Your Honor, at this time, we offer petitioners Exhibit 1 for this motion hearing. I did send that out this morning to all the parties, including the court.
All right. Any objections to petitioners 1?
No objection.
No objection.
No objection.
Okay. Petitioners Exhibit 1 is admitted.
Thank you, Your Honor. Pass the witness.
All right. Mr. Jackson?
No questions, Your Honor.
Mr. Pirtle?
No questions.
Ms. Kincaid?
No questions, Your Honor.
All right. Ms. Wiggins?
No questions.
All right. Ms. Gutierrez, did you have any other witnesses?
No other witnesses, Your Honor. We
All
just
right. All right. Thank you. Mr. Jackson, any witnesses?
No witnesses, Your Honor.
Mr. Pirtle?
No witnesses, Judge.
Ms. Kincaid?
No witnesses, Your Honor.
All right. Ms. Wiggins?
No witnesses.
All right. Ms. Wiggins' recommendation?
I recommend that the visitation be supervised by St. Francis only between dad and the children. And I'm okay with reducing it down to 2 hours. I just hate for it more to be a punishment to the children at this point than the father, really.
All right. And virtual or in person?
I'm fine with in person. Clearly, until he's out of jail. Obviously, no visitation until he's released from incarceration.
Yeah. All right. I'll go ahead and I'll leave it. I agree with you. I'll go ahead and grant the motions. Number 1. I'll order that Mr. Fuentes' visitation be revised to be 2 hours weekly. I'm gonna do it this way. I'm just gonna say that for now it can go back to in person. However, I'm gonna further order that he hair strand and UA drug screen within 24 hours of his release from incarceration. If either of those drug tests is positive, then his visitation will be virtual. And that's going to be my ruling in both cases. So, okay. That will conclude this hearing. I'll be back at 10:45 to call another Randall County case.
We're here on
That
status
is,
hearing as well as a
on
motion
the
to permit mother to
Searcy
reside
and
with the
Sanders.
children filed by Ms. Kopp.
Ms. Wildman's with us for the department. Ms. Wiggins is with us representing the children. Ms. Kopp is with us representing the mother. Ms. Sanders, who is with us. One of the presumed fathers, Mr. Cisneros, is not with us. He's father to Lily, and Mr. Searcy, the father to Olivia, is also not with us. I have Angela Tidwell in the waiting room.
That would be my worker, Judge.
Okay. Right, this case was set for 10:45. It's now 11 o'clock. We will proceed in the father's absences. Ms. Wildman, you may proceed.
Thank you, Judge. The department would call Angela Tidwell.
Ma'am.
All right, where are the children currently placed?
They're currently placed with their maternal grandmother, Nancy Trask.
All right, and what sort of visitation have there's two fathers in this case, correct?
Yes, ma'am.
Now, is Lily's father in contact with the department or having any kind of visitation?
No visitation, but I have been in contact with him.
Okay. And Olivia's father, is he getting visitation?
Yes, ma'am. He's scheduled to have virtual visits.
And how are we, or is he only getting visitation with Olivia?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, and so tell me a little bit about the virtual visitation he's supposed to be getting with Olivia.
Okay, so he is scheduled to get 1 hour a week of virtual visits. Unfortunately, he's only made one visit because he's been in and out of the hospital.
Okay. But are we still attempting to offer those visits and reschedule if he's available?
Yes, ma'am.
Now, what kind of visitation is the mother having with the children?
He is having 1 hour in-person visits every Friday.
Okay. And are those supervised by the department or placement?
They're supervised by the department.
Okay. And now you've had contact, it sounds like, with all three of the parents, correct?
Yes, ma'am.
Have you developed family plans of service for all three of the parents?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. And so, have all three of the parents signed those family plans of service?
No, ma'am.
Who has signed theirs?
Just Christy.
Okay. And so, Mr. Cisneros, have you discussed the family plan of service with him?
Yes, ma'am.
Has he indicated anything about whether or not he wants to work services in this case?
He stated he won't work services until paternity is proven.
Okay. And are we asking for paternity tests to be ordered in this hearing?
Yes, ma'am.
All right. And Mr. Searcy, is he willing to work services?
Yes, ma'am. He has stated he's willing to work services.
And is the reason he hasn't been able to sign that family plan of service just because he's been in the hospital, or is there a different reason?
No, ma'am. It's only because he's been in and out of the hospital.
Okay. And so, have you discussed those services with him?
Yes, ma'am.
All right. And then have you, and obviously you've talked with Miss Sanders about her services. So let's go through just real briefly. What are some of the services that are unique to Christy Sanders and this case that we're asking her to complete?
Yes, ma'am. An OSAR, parenting classes, and individual therapy.
All right. And what are the reasons we're asking for some of those services?
The reason why we're asking for an OSAR is because she had a positive
objection, hearsay.
Sustain.
Your Honor, the drug screen has been filed with the court with the business records affidavit with the required notice. So the results of the drug screen should be admissible at this point.
That doesn't mean that this witness can testify to them.
Do you have it to introduce as an exhibit, Ms.
I
Wilder?
don't, Your Honor, but I can forward that to the court while we're doing the questioning.
Okay, let's do that. That's
Judge, and it's my understanding that it's this court's policy that exhibits need to be provided to the court and all parties a week in advance, and no such exhibit was provided.
if it's on file, I'm going to allow it.
Okay.
If it's not, I'm not.
Are there, let's put it this way, have there been concerns raised about the mother's drug use?
Yes, ma'am.
And is that why we're asking for the OSAR?
Yes, ma'am.
Are you also asking that she complete any services that is recommended?
Yes, ma'am.
All right. And then Mr. Cisneros, what are some of the things that we're asking from him, and how are those narrowly tailored to this case?
And we're asking for him to locate stable housing, a psychosocial, and parenting classes.
Okay. And again, how are those narrowly tailored to this case?
He stated that he doesn't have stable housing at this time, and that he's not been an active parent in Lily's life since day one.
Okay, and how will those things help us to potentially reunify with Mr. Cisneros?
So if he could work on stable housing, that would be a safe environment for Lily to go to. And then since he's not parented before, as he stated to me, it would help him to strengthen his parenting skills or to learn how to utilize parenting tools.
All right, and then for Mr. Cersey, what are some of the services that we're asking him to do that are narrowly tailored to this case?
So we're asking him for an OSAR. We're asking him for individual therapy and parenting as well.
And again, how will those help us reunify the children with him?
In order for him to do an OSAR, it would narrow down, if there was drug use, then he could follow the recommended services. And he would be able to strengthen his parenting skills to be to have the tools he needs to parent Olivia, and then individual therapy to work through any issues related to the removal.
Now, you said if there's drug use, have you talked to Tyler about his drug use?
Yes, ma'am.
And so, I mean, are we concerned about there being active drug use in this case regarding Tyler?
We didn't hear your answer, Ms. Tidwell.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, and so is that part of the reason why we're asking for those services?
Yes.
All right. Now, are there any services that we would need to order for the children?
Yes, we are working on setting up therapy for Lily.
And Olivia's 2, right?
Yes, ma'am.
Have we seen any reason to refer her for therapy or play therapy yet?
Not yet.
All right. Now let's get a little bit of an update just on the parents. Have you had a chance to meet with Christy and Tyler in person?
Yeah.
Okay. How long has Tyler been in the hospital this time?
I don't have the reported date when he went in this time. I don't know.
Okay. But let me ask you, have you at any point been able to meet with him at home?
No, ma'am.
Okay. So all the times you've met with him, he's been back at the hospital.
Yes, ma'am.
Now, have you met with Miss Sanders at the home?
Yes, ma'am.
And how many times have you been able to meet with her out there?
This was the first month, one time.
Okay. And how often have you met with her in the hospital?
One time.
Okay. So do you know how long she's been out of the hospital this time?
No, ma'am.
Now, if the motion for her to return, or for her to move in with her parents who are placement for the children was filed at the beginning of this month, are you aware, has she been hospitalized at any point in between then?
No, ma'am.
And do you have fairly good communication with Miss Sanders?
Yes, ma'am.
The last time that you met with her, was she at her home?
Yes, ma'am.
And what kind of home is that?
She lives in an apartment in Canyon.
Okay. And now what does she say about Tyler and where he lives?
Whenever I spoke with Christy last Thursday, she just stated that her and Tyler are not together, but they are roommates at the apartment.
Okay, so both of the parents now are saying that Tyler does live there in the apartment. Is that
Yes.
correct? Okay.
Sorry, may I interrupt? Christy, can you have your camera not looking at the ceiling fan? Sorry, I was getting sick. Sorry.
And have you talked to, when you were at the apartment, did it seem clean or were there any concerns?
I was not invited inside the residence. Christy came outside.
Okay, so you haven't actually been in the residence?
No, ma'am, just
Okay.
outside.
Okay. When you were talking with her and talking about sort of some of the things she was going to need to do, did you talk about whether or not she's gone back to work yet?
Yes, ma'am, we discussed that.
And what did she say about going back to work?
She stated that at this time she's unable to work because she's not been released from the doctor to drive her vehicle.
And what did she say about if she is released from that restriction?
She told me that she believes that she can drive her vehicle as long as the doctor releases her.
Okay. So then what does she do for work?
It's my understanding that she works for DoorDash.
Okay. So Christy's ready to go back to work. She's just waiting on that approval.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Did Christy mention any other issues that she was having, restrictions or anything that she has in doing any of the other services?
No, ma'am.
And so does the department believe that based on their contact with Christy Sanders that there's any need for her to be in the same home as her parents or her children?
No, ma'am.
Does the department have a concern about continuing danger regarding Christy being around her children?
Yes, ma'am.
What are some of the concerns that the department has?
The concerns is,
and Your Honor, let me take a moment, and at this point, the state would move to admit State's Exhibit 1, which I believe parties should have received, which would be the most recent hair follicle testing for Miss Sanders with the accompanying business records affidavit.
Judge, I would object as a violation of this court's policies, but I understand the court has already ruled on that issue.
And I'm just trying to see if I have it. Who'd you send it to, Brittany or to me?
I sent it to Brittany, Judge.
Okay, that didn't help me.
I just got it a few minutes ago, so let me send it. I see that I just received it a few minutes ago, so I'm sending it right now.
And I did receive it, Judge, and reviewed it, and I have no objection.
Okay. Brittany, is this one you sent me earlier?
No, I just got this one at 11:08, but I just hit send, so you should get it in just a second.
Give me just a minute then till I get it. Brittany, it's saying it's doing that safety scan. Sometimes that takes 5-10 minutes. If you just print that off and bring it to me, please.
Yes, I'll bring it right now.
Okay, let's go ahead, Ms. Wildman. I'll rule on the admissibility once I've seen it.
Yeah. And Ms. Tidwell, are there still, as far as continuing danger, what are some of your concerns regarding, let's start with Mr. Cisneros. What are your continuing danger concerns with Mr. Cisneros and reunifying with Lily?
Mr. Cisneros is basically denying that Lily is his daughter, and he does not have a stable employment, stable housing. I've not been able to get him to work any services, commit to any drug screens. He's barely spoke to me on the phone, so he's made it clear that he doesn't want to work services until proven paternity.
Now, as far as Mr. Searcy, what are some of the continuing dangers there?
One of the main things is his health. He's in and out of the hospital, and at one point he told me that he thought he was going to be put on hospice. He's not been put on hospice, but he told me he just doesn't have the fight in him anymore to keep going through all the medical stuff that he's going through. So that, and then his original hair follicle as well.
Okay. And when you say original hair follicle, was that positive for some sort of substance that was concerning?
Yes, ma'am.
And what was that?
Methamphetamine.
And he has been fairly candid with you about his methamphetamine use, has he not?
Yes, ma'am.
All right. And Judge, have you had a chance to review that?
I'm looking at it right now. Is this the one that the affidavit was filed on March 13th?
Yes, Judge.
And this is a hair strand test for Miss Sanders, collected on February 27th?
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay, all right. Then I will admit Petitioner's Exhibit 1.
Okay. And Ms. Tidwell, what are some of our continuing danger concerns about Christy Sanders?
On February 27th, she was positive for methamphetamine on her hair follicle.
Had you previously asked her about her drug use?
Yes, ma'am.
And what had she told you previously?
She had stated that she had not used methamphetamine since approximately 2023, I believe.
Did you discuss the positive test results with her when you met with her last week?
I did.
And what was her response?
She had never admitted to using methamphetamine, but she stated that she would start working towards her family plan of service, and would start going to AA 90 days or 90 meetings in 90 days. So she was willing to work towards what she needs to for sobriety, I believe.
Okay. Does that lack of acknowledgement of use, but discussion of these services, is that a concern?
Is a concern.
And why is that a concern?
Because there was a drug screen that states that she's used methamphetamine, and she's not admitted to using methamphetamine, but she's willing to work.
Judge, I'm going to object to the drug screen showing she's using as speculation. There's plenty of ways someone could test positive that's not using methamphetamines.
Sustain. I mean, I can read the drug screen, so let's move on.
Ms. Tidwell, do you believe the department is making reasonable efforts to reunify the children? And how is the department doing that?
I've created a family plan of service for all parents. I've also conducted monthly face-to-face visits with Christy in order to discuss the where she's at on her services. I've submitted service authorizations, and I've ensured that she meets with her kids in person for visits.
And I'd meant to ask this earlier, and I skipped over it. Has Miss Sanders begun engaging in any services other than the AA that you've already testified to?
Yes, ma'am. She has set up her first therapy with Mr. Jennings.
And has she set up any of the parenting classes or anything yet?
As of last Thursday, no, ma'am.
Okay. Are you asking at this point for the placement of the children to continue as is without Miss Sanders in the home?
Yes, ma'am.
And are you asking that the family plans of service developed for all three of the parents be ordered at this time?
Yes, ma'am.
And again, we are asking for the paternity testing for Jerry Cisneros related to Lily, correct?
Yes, ma'am.
I'll pass the witness, Judge.
All right. This may be a question for the lawyers or the department. I show that Mr. Cisneros is a presumed father.
Yes, Judge, that was what I was going to point out. There's a previous order out of Potter, so I don't think he's entitled unless he wants to get an attorney and somehow find a loophole.
Yeah, I mean, at least for today, Miss Tidwell, if you talk to Mr. Cisneros, tell him he's not entitled to a paternity test because he's already been found to be the father. So,
Yes, sir.
okay. All right. I'm going to kind of go out of order so that Ms. Copp can present her evidence on her motion. So, Ms. Wiggins, do you have any questions for Ms. Tidwell at this time?
Ms. Tidwell, are there any services, and I apologize, I don't know if you said this or not. It was Mr. Searcy going into hospice, or was that for another person?
When I spoke to Mr. Sergi last, he stated he was going into hospice. I've not spoke to him in about 2 weeks.
Okay. And in regards to his service plan, does it have anything to address the allegations of him being physically abusive towards the children?
Yes, ma'am. We do have that on there for him to take anger management control.
Okay. And in regards to Lily, she is starting visitation with her father, is that correct?
No, ma'am.
And why is she not?
Because Jerry stated that he's not her father and that he does not want to work services or start visitation with her until he is the father. But I was also just told that
He is the father. Okay. Okay. Obviously, I don't want a parent to see a child if they don't want to see a child, but if he does do that, can we make sure that grandmother is present during those virtual visits so the child is more comfortable? Is that something that we can help facilitate?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. No more questions, Judge.
All right, Ms. Copp, questions?
Ms. Tidwell, you approved of grandma and grandfather as placement, correct?
Yes, ma'am.
So you believe they're protective?
Yes, ma'am.
Pass witness.
Right. Anyone else have further questions for Ms. Tidwell?
Yes, Your Honor. I mean, Miss Tidwell, if Christy Sanders is in the home with Grandma and Grandpa, does that change your opinion on whether or not that would be an appropriate placement for the children at this time?
Yes, ma'am.
And regarding visitation with Lily and her father, Jerry Cisneros, in addition to what Ms. Muggins had said about it being supervised, would the department want to consider therapeutic visitation?
Yes, ma'am.
It's my understanding they have not had a relationship. Is that your understanding?
That is my understanding.
Okay. And no further questions, Your Honor.
Right. Ms. Tidwell, you may have answered this. Do you know when Ms. Sanders was last in the hospital and when she was released?
I do not know her release date, Your Honor.
Okay. All right. Thank you. Okay. Ms. Wildman, anything further from the department?
Not from the department, Judge.
Sorry, Judge. I had a couple more questions for
Go
Ms.
ahead.
Tidwell.
Go ahead, Ms. Wiggins.
Thank you, Judge. Ms. Tidwell, is it your understanding that the grandfather in the home is extremely sick?
Yes, ma'am.
In fact, he's completely bedridden, correct?
Yes, ma'am.
And so the maternal grandmother is already having to physically care for both of these new children and the grandfather that's ill in the home. Is that correct?
Yes, ma'am.
And there's also an adult uncle that lives in the home, uncle of the kids, right?
Yes, ma'am.
And okay. And so we have 3 adults living in the home and 2 children. Is that correct?
Yes, ma'am.
And at this time, Lily generally sleeps with grandmother in her bed. Is that right?
It's my understanding that she sleeps in the grandmother's bed in her room, but not with the grandmother.
Okay. Okay. And the younger daughter or younger child, she sleeps in a little bed next to Lily's bed. Is that correct?
Yes, ma'am.
And are you aware that sometimes Lily sleeps on the couch as well?
Yes, ma'am.
So would you say space is potentially an issue at that house?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, I'll pass the witness.
All right. Anyone else have questions for Ms. Tidwell?
No, Your Honor.
No, Judge.
All right, then, Ms. Wildman, any other witnesses?
Not from the department, Judge.
All right. Ms. Copp, witnesses?
I'll call Christy Sanders.
Okay.
And Judge, if you'll recall, she does have the trach, so sometimes it's a little hard to hear her over the phone.
Okay. All right. Ms. Sanders, if you'd unmute, please. Ms. Copp.
Ms. Sanders, you are here today asking that you be allowed to move in with your parents, correct? Sorry, was that a yes? Can you hear her, Judge?
I can barely hear, but considering the circumstances, I can see her. If it's a yes or no question, Ms. Sanders, you can shake your head yes or no, and we'll.
1 second.
Thank you.
You are currently in the apartment you were in prior to your stroke, is that correct?
Yeah.
And you are in a kind of a roommate situation with Tyler when he is actually at the home, correct?
Yeah.
And you do not want to be in that roommate situation with him. And that was a no, correct? You understand that if you are permitted to move into your parents' house, that you will still not be able to have unsupervised contact with your children at this time?
Yes, ma'am.
And you are okay with that?
Yeah.
And the department is upset that you haven't admitted to using methamphetamine. Is that correct? You remember that, correct? And the reason why you haven't admitted to using methamphetamines is because you are not using methamphetamines. You were living with someone who was doing quite a lot, apparently, though. Is that correct? And that's Tyler, who you are still sometimes living with, correct?
Right.
You do not want to live with somebody who does methamphetamines or exposes you or your children to that. If you are able to move in with your parents, they will be able to assist you after your stroke. Is that correct?
Yeah.
But there are also some things that you'll be able to assist your mother with, correct? At this time, you cannot work because of the stroke that you had. Is that right?
Yes, ma'am.
And that's putting you in a very bad financial situation.
Yeah.
Sorry, 1 second, Judge. I'm so sorry, Judge.
That's all right.
Do you believe that you living in the home with your parents and your children is in your children's best interest?
Yes.
And also in your best interest?
Yes.
Are you willing to follow any rules that Judge Graham puts for you while you're living in that home? And you know that, and I think you already said this, but you know that that means still no unsupervised contact. So if your mom wants to go to the grocery store, the kids have to go. And you're fine with that? And you're going to comply with all of that? And Ms. Tidwell was apparently upset that you agreed to go to AA. Did you hear that?
Yes, yeah.
Did you say that you would do that just to show how committed you are to the sobriety you already have?
Yeah, I've already started. I think I've done three and a half weeks right now.
And you have not been back in the hospital since you were released, is that correct?
Right.
But you were recently very ill and unable to get out of bed, is that correct? And you did have a situation with Miss Tidwell while you were sick, is that correct?
Yeah.
She sent you a text telling you that you needed to go drug screen and that you needed to do it before 6 p.m., is that correct?
Right.
You went to the facility and they would not let you test because it was after 4 p.m., is that correct?
Right.
And you tried to talk with Miss Tidwell about that, correct? And she just told you, well, I guess you're positive. Not in those exact words, but that's what she meant.
Yeah.
And do you think that it's unfair that she told you you could go till 6 p.m. and then punished you for the facility not testing you? So when Ms. Tidwell said that the two of you are communicating well, that's not correct, is it? And so are you asking that the court allow you to go drug screen? Because Ms. Tidwell would not let you go, right?
Yes. I did.
And you understand that you have to go.
Yeah, we couldn't get that.
Sorry.
I did one yesterday. I think it was.
And so since then, she's let you drug screen.
Yeah.
But we don't have those results back yet.
I guess.
Pass the witness.
Miss Sanders, what type of drug screens did you do yesterday?
I did a year UA.
No hair?
No.
Okay. And Miss Sanders, when were you last released from the hospital?
I don't know the exact date, but it was like the end of February, I believe.
Okay. And have you lived in this apartment since you got out in the end of February from the hospital?
I've stayed here, and then I've stayed at my best friend's house who lives in Canyon as well.
Okay. All right. All right. Ms. Wildman, questions?
Yes, Your Honor. Miss Sanders, the judge just asked you about where you stayed after you got out of the hospital, but didn't you try to move in with your parents again first without a court hearing?
Yeah, I had missed whenever we had that court date, the first one. I had misunderstood what he said.
So
But
how long were you living with your parents without the permission of the court?
One day, I think.
Okay. And since then, have you been able to find places that are appropriate to stay?
Yeah.
Have you been able to make to keep up with your medical appointments since discharge?
I haven't had any yet.
Okay. Are you looking to start working again as soon as you're released to drive?
Yeah, as soon as I'm able to start door dashing again, I would like to.
Okay. So the sorry, I lost track of what I was about to say. Hang on. So what efforts have you made to remove Tyler from the apartment?
He's been in the hospital pretty much the entire time, so I really haven't. I've talked to him about it, and
So you're not really in a roommate situation with Tyler then if he's not living there currently, right?
Well, I mean, this is it. This is where he lives, but he's just been in the hospital. He was intubated last week.
All right, so you've done nothing to evict him or take any measures with your leasing agency to remove him from the lease. Is that correct?
I don't have a means to pay for this apartment right now because
I'm going to object, Your Honor, to non-responsive.
Sustain. Let me ask, we may be asking a bunch of questions that are unnecessary. Ms. Sanders, whose name is the apartment lease in?
Mine and my mom's.
Okay, so Mr. Searcy's not on the lease.
No, sir.
Okay, all right. Go ahead, Ms. Wildman.
And Miss, if I apologize, Miss Sanders, if you have, as you've testified, have had no medical appointments to follow up with, then your motion to reside with your mother, where you require additional care following your recent stroke, would be inaccurate, correct?
No,
I'm gonna object to argumentative and mischaracterizes the motion. Additional care doesn't necessarily mean medical appointments.
Overrule. Ma'am, you can answer if you have an answer to it. If you don't, you don't.
I have a cardiac MRI coming up, I think, next month, and I have blood work. I just haven't had the appointments yet because they needed to be so long after my.
Miss Sanders, let me ask, do you think it's possible you'll be released to drive yourself by then?
I'm hoping so, but with the MRI.
Okay. Well, you said that they're scheduled out. Is it possible for your mother to drive you to those appointments or for you to get an Uber without having to live with your mother?
With my MRI, I have to have sorry. I have to have sedation.
Is it possible for
Sorry, I didn't hear that. I have to have what?
Sedation.
So when is that appointment scheduled for again?
I believe it's the 31st.
Of April? Okay. In the next month, is it possible for you to talk to your brother or somebody else about staying with you in your apartment?
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay, so you'd agree with me that there are other options for you to get help even if you stay in your apartment.
Yeah.
Would you agree with me?
Yeah.
No further questions, Judge.
All right, Ms. Wiggins.
When was the last time you used methamphetamines?
End of December.
So end of December of 2023, is that correct?
No.
Thank you. I got my years wrong. 24 of 2024. Okay. So you have had recent issues with methamphetamine. Is that correct?
Well, I'm yeah, I guess.
Okay. No further questions, Judge.
All right. Anyone have further questions for Ms. Sanders?
No, Judge.
All right. Ms. Cott, did you have any further witnesses?
No further witnesses, Judge. We're just asking that you grant our motion. The court is to look to the minimum necessary protective measures here. And the only issue that Ms. Tidwell could state regarding my client was the past positive drug screen, and gave no concerns going forward for mom living with the children and her parents in a supervised setting. She also stated that she would change her mind about the appropriateness of placement if Miss Sanders was living there, but gave no reasons for it. So the court has not been given any reasons as to why it would not be a safe environment if Miss Sanders were to live with her mother in the home.
All right. All right. Ms. Wiggins, did you have any witnesses?
No, Your Honor.
All right. Ms. Wiggins' recommendation?
I recommend that placement be continued and approved. I'm a little on the fence about these visitations between Lily and her father. I feel like it's disappointing that he says he's not the father. I have told Lily that if the judge approves it, she would be possibly visiting with her father, and she seemed okay with it. So, but I think at this point, therapeutic might be the best once we get her into therapy, which I do believe that she needs as soon as possible. She is, I believe, struggling with her grandfather who is ill in the home. And so I would recommend the mother not be moved into the home due to the drug use and the lack of space and the additional issues placed in the home.
All right. Thank you. Give me just a second here.
Oh, and Judge, and I don't know if we formally have done this, but I want no contact with Tyler, Cersei, and Lily.
I think
we did, but I just wanted to double check.
I think at the adversary hearing, I ordered no in-person contact between the children and Mr. Cersei without a court order. That applied to both children.
Okay, I would ask that it be completely no
Yeah.
contact. She is has indicated that she wants no contact.
Okay. All right. Give me a minute. All right, then, I will continue the department as temporary managing conservator, continue the children's current placements. I'm going to order therapy for Lily as soon as that can be set up. I'm going to order that Mr. Cisneros, any visitation Mr. Cisneros would have with Lily will be as recommended by Lily's therapist, and that there not be any visitation until that Lily has begun therapy. I'm going to order no contact between Mr. Cersei and either of the children without prior court order. I'm just at this point, while I sympathize with Ms. Sanders' condition, I'm going to deny the motion for her to reside with her mother and the children. Now, about the drug test, Ms. Sanders is saying she wants to take another drug test. I'm happy to order it. Ms. Tidwell, you may have told me, when was Ms. Sanders' last hair follicle?
Judge, her last hair follicle was on February 27th. And may I speak on her last UA?
Well, hang on a minute. Let me look here. Okay,
Yes,
so I'm sorry, the test, yeah, petitioner's exhibit 1, that was a hair. Okay. And you tell me what you want to tell me about her UA.
She went on Friday and took her UA and it came back negative.
Okay, you've got the results back from last Friday's.
Yes, sir.
Okay, all right. Okay, I don't see any sense then in ordering any further tests today. So, okay, well, that's my ruling. Our next hearing will be.
Your Honor, if I may, just for the record, we were asking that the family plans of service be made a court order and then have the continuing danger and reasonable efforts findings.
I'll give you your reasonable efforts findings. I don't think I said that. If I didn't, I'm going to order the services for each parent as contained in their service plans. Ms. Sanders, can you hear me? Okay. I need to admonish you on one thing. The services that are contained in your service plan become a court order today. At a final hearing, if you haven't worked those services, your parental rights could be altered or terminated. Do you understand that?
Yes, sir.
Okay, that's just something I have to tell every parent when we get to this hearing. I'm not making any comment on whether or not you're intending to work your services. So. Okay, that will conclude this hearing. For those of you involved, I'll be back here in about 5 minutes, 3 to 5 minutes to call our next
Ms. Wiggins
hearing.
is with
That's
us representing the
adversary
children.
hearing on-
Ms. Naranjo is with us representing the father, Mr. Hewlin, who is with Ms. Naranjo. Mr. Hill is with us representing the mother, Ms. Riggs, who is with us. That accounts for all the parties. I have in the waiting room Sheldon West, Sasha Key, Peyton Sim, and Alexis Valenzuela, sorry.
Okay. Alexis Valenzuela is my investigator. If she could be allowed in, as well as Peyton Sim, who's the future St. Francis Ministries worker.
Okay.
Sasha Key will be my first witness.
And
Okay.
Judge Sheldon West is going to be for the next adversary hearing at 1:15.
Okay.
And Your Honor, while they're coming in, if I can ask Ms. Naranjo if her client is asking for a home study at this time, or if he is still wanting to wait.
We'll wait on the home study for now, Teresa.
Okay, thank you, Kendra.
Of course.
Proceed. She's your first witness.
Yes, Your Honor. The department calls Sasha Key.
Okay. Ms. Key, if you'd unmute, please. Yes.
Thank you, Your Honor. Ms. Key, Your Honor, before we start, may I inquire with the court if we are on YouTube?
We are.
And if no party objects, I request that we be off.